The PAL was started by the police commissioner in 1914 as an opportunity to keep young people safe, engage with law enforcement, and giving them an opportunity to just be kids in New York City. It started on the Lower East Side. And over the years, it's continued with that same premise of keeping young people safe, connecting them with law enforcement, giving them the opportunity to be mentored, but the opportunity to dream and just have fun and be a kid. So we continue that legacy from 1914 of keeping our young people involved, keeping them busy, but also partnering with law enforcement to make sure that there's a relationship being built. But I think in this time of our world is really about our young people feeling safe, and safety is paramount for them.
And that's the way you do it. We will talk about the relationship with the NYPD, but just talk about what's been the challenge to keep it going. In other words, there are many organizations, many concepts that have gone like this, but you've been able to keep it going. And now you said there are 27 centers all told, 5 in the Bronx. What keeps it going? I mean, financially, is it foundation work with the NYPD? How does it work?
I think it's a lot of support from a lot of people, from your everyday New Yorker to a very motivated board of trustees and board of directors who continue to help fund and raise money for the organization, and support from city and state funding to keep the program going. So I think one thing that PAL has continued to do is to change with the times.
I'm very curious.
I think it's, coming out of the pandemic, we have our young people who are now have different needs, where academics are very important, but their mental health is very important, and a place where they can socialize, a place where they feel that they are learning, that they're feeling accepted. I think they deal with a lot of challenges in their everyday life, and we're stepping up to meet those challenges.
And part of that, I'm just assuming, is counselors who understand these things. I mean, it doesn't just happen like, okay, now we're going to treat them better. You've got to really have to know how.
Definitely, and counselors who've grown up in the program, and I think that's part of a lot of success when it comes to after school, is the product of after school coming back and being that role model and investing in their community. It's us keeping the pulse of what's going on in the communities that we're based in. Our relationship with NYPD is really about, again, creating a familiar space for both the young people and for the officers to get to know each other. So that can look like anything from engaging in activities together, whether it's a basketball night or whether it's playing video games or cooking classes, to having NYPD come in and do education around gun safety or around violence in their neighborhood. So it's really about creating an opportunity for the community to feel where they have a pathway to have these conversations, and also for our young people to feel they have a voice when it comes to safety in their community.
Cops volunteer?
Cops volunteer, yes, they do.
I have a number of friends who are police officers. They love it, right? In other words, it's almost like the best part of their job, even though it's not the job. What's the impact of that? Do you see a change? Do things happen?
I think at the very basic level is just an understanding that a young person is going through a lot of things in their life, and they have feelings about what goes on in their community. And for the officers who come in, it's about the young people understanding they have a job to do and they're trying to keep them safe. But also it grows to a relationship where if there is an incident, if there's something where a young person or a family needs support, they know they have someone to go to, or they have a familiar face that they can engage with. So we really work hard with our partners at NYPD, and they're great at our centers and they're great with our young people. And you see the young people become comfortable around the officers, where it's not where they're just authority in their life, but just another community member who's trying to keep their community safe.
I think for a lot of kids, they don't play sports, maybe they feel like they don't belong, and then all of a sudden they say, well, everybody's playing basketball, it's not really my thing. And but we just showed some pictures. There are opportunities here that are outside that realm. I mean, it's cooking, and there's we saw some academic stuff. One of the things that I've talked to Mr. Velazquez, I've talked to a number of people who've been on the show here, is filling in the gaps of what they don't get in school. And that I know when I was in school, it was art and music was all part of it. I'm just going to make the assumption this is also one of the missions that you at the PAL and of course at UNH are trying to do.
Definitely. One of the things that people sometimes aren't aware is that the Police Athletic League is a lot more than athletics. We have hydroponic farming, we have STEM classes, robotics classes, art classes, music classes. It's really an opportunity to get young people engaged and to find a passion or find the opportunity to find something that they connect with. So it's really about creating a space where young people can advocate for what they want, a space for young people to try new things, but also try new things in a safe space.
Do the leaders, are they trained well enough to recognize, because there could be individuals who come in, mom told me I got to be here, so I'm here, and then they kind of sulk or they don't really participate, and you know, that's the kind of nurturing a youngster needs to bring them out of it.
Yeah, I think it's all about, you know, as our young people get older, they vote with their feet. So if you give them an opportunity where they feel welcome and they feel like it's their home, they're going to come in and they're going to participate. So it's about building that relationship and not taking the relationship part for granted.
It's very easy to say we're going to run a cooking program, we're going to run a music program, we're going to do a STEM program, we're going to do all these other wonderful things. STEM cooking program needs a kitchen. STEM program needs computers. You know, our music programs needs instruments. What do? You buy them. You have them in certain centers, do certain things. I mean, just talk about it as the director. How do you make that happen?
Definitely, it's, you know, you work with what you have and you improvise and you look for.
Or is this ever a Bronx message?
and our young people are so resilient and they want to do so much that they're willing to, you know, challenge themselves to learn things, and sometimes not the best funded programs or with the best resources, but we depend a lot on investment. And I really, you know, say that with an importance of we have to invest in our young people. So investment from our donors, investment from city agencies, investment from foundations and corporations. That's how we get things done, and that's how we get the resources that we need. So it's a lot of investment in our city that gets these things moving. And, you know, as we hear, we need more investment now just to do the bare minimum, and we continue fighting the good fight for that.
And, you know, the pictures we just saw of the range of programs, the kids fencing and volleyball and you know, all kinds of cooking and everything else. It's rather impressive. And what about staff? You say staff comes from people who were part of the program.
Yeah, we have a wide variety of staff who are just passionate about the work that we are doing, but we have a number of staff who have grown up in the programs. We actually have programs that at a very young age, we are teaching our young people how to mentor the younger kids in the programs so they take ownership of it. So I have directors of centers who were participants at one time at the PAL. I was a participant of PAL basketball programs when I was a kid, and now I'm the executive director, right? There's
a news story in and of itself, a news feature.
Right, so it's the opportunity for young people to take responsibility for their community.
By the organizations. And what about for you? Is it the same kind of thing?
It's the same, and it's challenging, right? I think that, you know, especially in this market where you can go work in retail and make more than working in a child care program, depending where you are, and you can get more hours. So it's a difficult balance to make sure you're paying a good wage, but you're also getting the resources you need to get the young people into the space. You're keeping up with facilities. So there's a lot of juggling when it comes to making sure that young people have what they need, but also the staff that you need to give young people what they need.
And I didn't ask you the question that I had asked her. Good stories. Talk to me about something you saw that made you say, oh, well, this is what we do. This is why we do it.
Yeah, I think it's just when you see the young people investing in their communities and taking ownership of their centers. I always say, you know, community-based organizations have to be based in the community and have the pulse of that community. So seeing our youth councils or seeing our older youth engaging with younger youth and mentoring them, and seeing the community come into the center and just be a part of what's going on. It speaks volumes in terms of this concept of after school, which is childcare and giving, many years ago and still to this day, parents the opportunity to stay at work and have their kids in safe spaces.
Much more important today than it used to be, I'm sure. And let's talk about the PAL. Now, you have a centers where? We were talking about it beforehand.
Yeah, we have 5 centers in the Bronx. We have the Fordham section of the Bronx on Webster Avenue and 183rd Street. We have our Webster Center.
And those are freestanding buildings?
And they're freestanding buildings. And our Longwood Center on Longwood Avenue in the Bronx. Those are 2 community centers. And then we have 3 school-based sites that are primarily made up of young people who are already attending those schools.
And those schools are in what neighborhoods, just so we know?
They're all in the South Bronx.
All in the South Bronx. So people should go to the website and go to the website and find
Go to palnyc.org and have a listing of our schools. We'll be opening summer registration in the next couple of weeks. We want to keep our young people busy, off the street, engaged. So look for a PAL site or another after-school site and a summer provider.
I was going to say, give me the best example of somebody who went through the programs and then is doing well. He's sitting right. That was pretty easy. He's right here. Well, good luck to you and all the folks in Police Athletically. Thanks to all the cops and NYPD that believes in it so strongly for 100 years.